Well, more pure sadness tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins drop just a pure heartbreaker to the New York Rangers. Same final score, 5-3, like it was in Game 5. Game 7 on Sunday, and the vibes are definitely a bit low right now, to say the least. I feel gutted, more sad, I think, than anything. I mean, I really can't be mad that much, but I have a full game recap coming up right after the shot. We're going to get into everything that happened when the game changed, what could have happened. It was oddly similar to what happened in Game 5, and I'm going to give my thoughts on everything that transpired. So, let's jump right into it.
You're Locked On Penguins, your daily podcast on the Pittsburgh Penguins, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to a Friday evening edition of the Locked On Penguins podcast. I am your host, Hunter Hodes. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Hunter Hodes, all those shows, Twitter at @Penguins. So the Penguins, it all comes down to Sunday. I don't know the time yet. Probably it's going to be 7 o'clock or something. But Game 7 back at the Garden. Again, the vibes are definitely low right now. The Penguins started out the game perfectly. Again, Jeff Carter gets the opening goal, 1-0. Then Brian Russ, Mr. Elimination, makes it 2-0. They go into the second period, needing only 40 minutes to close out. You're like, okay, they just need 2 solid periods here. And first 5 minutes of the period, they gave up some chances, but it wasn't bad. And Evan Rodrigues just made a stupid, gutless, dumb, atrocious play by retaliating to what Ryan Lindgren did. And I understand why he did what he did. He got face pushed right into the board. Should have been a penalty. Was not called. It's NHL officiating for you. I'm not going to sit here and moan about it like, the fan base up in New York that's been doing this whole last 6 games. That's the breaks. And, Rodrigues took exception to it, cross-checked him, cross-checked him, but I guess shoved him, and then they called him for roughing. 5 seconds later, the Rangers score, make it 2-1, and then a minute later, they make it 2-2. The game changed right there, just like it did on Wednesday when Sidney Crosby went out. And, the Rangers saw that, and they pounced for 3 goals very quickly, and then the Rangers, they took the lead again, 3-2. Chris Kreider before Evgeny Malkin tied it, and then, of course, we all know what happened in the third period. But that's a play you can't have at playoff time. And, when I saw Mike Sullivan, he gave him a death stare. I would never want to be on Sully's bad side, to say the least, but he gave him quite the death stare as he was coming back to the bench. He was livid about that because, again, the first 25 minutes of the game, the Penguins were playing fine. Who knows what happens after, if Rodrigues doesn't take that penalty. Sure, the Rangers probably tie it just because Louis Domingue had another atrocious outing. But, the Penguins were still playing fine, at least from what I was watching. And, it's just that's when it all started to go south. And, again, that's the second straight game that this has happened with the Penguins. I mean, again, it's purely unacceptable. I know Domingue was not good tonight, but the Penguins, they got to be better in second periods. I think it's really as simple as that. I'm going to mute this real quick. Sorry about that. Every time I start an episode, I have to cough for whatever reason. But, it's just, the second periods for the Game 3, Game 5, Game 6. It's wild how many poor second periods this team has had in the seasons. Again, part of it is goaltending. Other part of it is defending. The third goal, that was a hell of a pass by Shesterkin. I know the crowd was giving it to him all night. You got to tip I'll tip my cap to him. That was a really nice play. Not many goalies in the league can, fit that pass through. Penguins, I think, were caught in a change there. Domingue makes the first save, but he's not able to make the second one on Kreider. But again, it all started with Rodrigues. I'm really disappointed with how he did that because, again, maybe the Penguins win the game, but, they probably also, they probably find a way to blow it because, when you have a team down like that, and this is 2 games in a row now, you need to go pedal to the metal and finish them off. That is 2 games in a row for the first 25 to 35 minutes that the Rangers had absolutely nothing. Penguins were playing great defensively. Louis was actually making some saves. And then all hell breaks loose because, either, someone got hurt, obviously in game 5, or someone else takes a stupid penalty. And, the Penguins, they can't let that snowball into more goals being scored. And this is the second consecutive game that happened. The second goal was an absolute howler from Domingue. That's a slap shot from 55 to 60 feet away. My grandma could probably make that save. And I understand Domingue has been a nice story. I get it. People, I had some people in my mentions telling me that he's been fine in this series, which I don't really know where that's coming from. In my opinion, he has given them some of the worst goaltending that the Penguins have gotten in the Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin era. Yes, I understand he is a third string guy. I'm not going to, put him on my shit list, excuse my language, or anything like that. But, you have to come up with actual NHL caliber saves if you want the team to win. He was good enough in the 3 games that the Penguins won. I know he was not the story of those games, but these last 2 games especially, the third one on Wednesday, you got to have that. Fourth one, you got to have that. Tonight, the second one, you have to have that. Then the fourth one, you have to have that one too. The fourth one, just I literally, this was my reaction for those on YouTube. I face palmed and I literally just did that because, all I could do was just sit there. I mean, what am I gonna do? Throw something at a wall here or nothing? I'm not like 15 years old anymore, or something like that. But that's. I'm gonna say something I've probably never said on the show before. That is a save that I used to make when I was 12 to 13 years old, playing street hockey with my friends in my neighborhood. I mean, also, what kind of technique is the double blocker goalie glove? For that. That's a slap shot from the corner, 50 feet away, and you're having trouble for it. Just stick your glove out and glove it. I don't understand what the heck he's trying to do there. And the funny thing is, that's not the first time that he's given up that kind of goal. So, it's funny. Gregory Ballack of Sportsnet up in Canada, he actually tweeted this out. Domingue 2 years ago when he was with the New Jersey Devils, he gave up the same kind of goal. I can't believe he even found this. I'm going to retweet it. I quote tweeted it on my Twitter account. Has the double blocker glove, puck goes up in the air, goes in the net, doesn't even know where it is. You're telling me in 2 years' time, even though you have rotated from team to team, AHL to NHL, you don't have a fix to that kind of goal? The Penguins were a minute and a half away from going to freaking overtime where, again, someone who could have been the hero for them. And that's the kind of goal you are giving up in that kind of situation. I can live with him giving up goals to, some really nice goals to players, but I cannot live with that kind of goaltending. And it eats at my core that 2 years in a row, the Penguins have dog walked a team at 5v5, and they have gotten awful goaltending. I know Tristan was not good last year. I don't know what the heck that was. And I know Domingue is a third string goaltender. I'm trying not to just overly crap on him, but man, you have to make a save in that situation and on that second goal. 2 of the 4 Rangers goals tonight before the 5th goal at the empty netter should have been saves. The other 2 I can live with. Letang screened Domingue on that first one, whatever. Maybe Tristan Jarry doesn't make that save. The third one, the Kreider one, Zibanejad, great first save. Kreider's right there to clean up the garbage. No goalie makes that save. But the other ones, man, I think another AHL goalie makes those saves. It's very weird, to say the least. And Tristan Jarry was at the morning skate again. I don't know why they're handling him the way they are. Maybe he's not a full 100% yet. I'm sure if he was, he would have been in the game tonight. But maybe him at 70 to 80% wins this game. And I'll say this: they have no choice but to start him on Sunday. You cannot go up to Madison Square Garden and think you're going to win a 7-game series, or winner take all game 7 with Louis Domingue in that. You have an off day here in Pittsburgh to practice with Tristan. I'm sure he's going to be there. If he's not taking the much of the workload and he's not skating on a Sunday and being announced a starter, something is seriously wrong, or he's just truly hurt. But that's my take on the situation with the goaltending and Evan Rodrigues. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to get into the special teams talk of this show and why that's been another big key for why the Penguins might be losing on Sunday. But before we get to that, imagine dipping your finger into that plastic tub of birthday cake frosting and then opening your eyes and realizing that was only 150 calories and 16 grams of protein. This is what it's like to eat a birthday cake puff from Built. I just received my birthday cake puffs and I've never had anything like this before. They're available right now and we can't promise that they will be there tomorrow. So go get them today at built.com. And if you haven't tried the puffs, I'll let you in on a little secret because that's what friends do. So a chocolate-covered marshmallow protein bar. Yes, you heard me on that. It's deliciously flavored marshmallow, it covered in 100% real chocolate. With 150 calories, 16 grams of protein, only 9 grams of sugar, this limited time flavor is an amazing option if you are looking for a healthy way to get flavor and variety in your day. So you can go to built.com to get birthday cake puffs right now. And there's an offer. Built.com, use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Penguins podcast. I am your host, Hunter Hodes. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Hunter Hodes. Follow the show's Twitter at LO_Penguins. So let's get to the special team stuff. That's going to be another key point if the Penguins bow out on Sunday. They've been dreadful on the penalty kill and the power play. I said in my preview with Gil Martin of the Islanders, and I talked with John Chick of Locked On Rangers, if the Penguins, if their PK reverts back to last year's form, they are not probably going to win this series. And sure enough, it has been absolutely dreadful through these 6 games. Both of these last couple of games, the Rangers have made a difference on the power play. The Penguins have not. The Penguins have had 3 minutes worth of 5-on-3s. The Rangers haven't even had 5-on-3s, and the Penguins look utterly lost on those sequences. It's actually crazy how bad they are on 5-on-3s. I don't think I've seen a team worse on a 5-on-3 than the Penguins. The zone entries are absolutely awful. It's way too stagnant. Everyone is just standing around. I don't think they realize that there's only 3 players on the ice. They're not moving the puck around like they should be on a 5-on-3. No one is getting open. And, the Rangers, the players, they're probably just laughing at how awful it looks. Because, again, you have it is a very close game. I believe at that time it was 2-2, if I'm not mistaken. And you have a 5-on-3 for a minute 7. And you're telling me you can't really take the lead there? This is, again, back-to-back games. They've had 3 minutes and 7 seconds worth of a 5-on-3, and they've probably had 2 total shots in those 3 minutes. That's not good enough. You have to make a difference on the power play. I know Sidney Crosby was not playing tonight, but you have Evgeny Malkin, you have Chris Letang, you have Jake Ensel, you have Brian Russ, you have Evan Rodrigues, whoever else you want to put out there. You have to score there. And even when the second unit came on, to finish off that power play, it was more of the same, just way too stagnant. The passing is not there. The zone entries are not there. I don't know what Tar Reardon is doing on his dry erase board, but it's not working, to say the least. It's absolutely awful how bad the Penguins have been on the power play this series. And in turn, the penalty kill, a strength of this team during the season, a top 3 penalty killing team, has been woeful against the Rangers power play. And again, this was always going to be a key matchup. Going into game 5, the Rangers were only 2 for 9 on the power play. You can win with that. 2 power play goals in 4 games. You're up 3 games to 1. Hell yeah, I'm taking that every step of the way. But game 5, the deciding goal, Philip Hedl, 20 seconds left in the power play. Tonight, Evan Rodrigues takes that penalty. Oh, boom, 2-1. Then they have a 5-on-5 goal, 2-2. And then Mike Matheson, a very stupid 4-minute double high-sticking minor, and the Rangers score 3-2. They were able to kill off the second half of it, but, the penalty kill has not been good this entire series. It's looked just like it did last year, and that is going to be a big reason, again, if this team does lose on Sunday, if they lose the series, that's going to be a talking point. Again, I will say this for probably the 10th time this episode. The Penguins have absolutely worked the Rangers at 5v5. The Rangers have not been a good defensive team in this series. They've also not been a good 5-on-5 team in this series. The Penguins have controlled basically all the metrics at even strength. But when it comes to special teams and goaltending, even though Igor Shesterkin has not even been that good, the Penguins have gotten killed. At the end of the day, Louis Domingue is letting in howlers every game. The power play has been awful, and the penalty kill can't stop the Rangers' power play. And if they lose on Sunday, you're probably going to see more of the same there, unless Tristan Jarry starts and he just goes God tier mode. That's been the story of this series right now. Great 5-on-5 play, similar to last year against the Islanders, but goaltending and special teams have really let this team down. And usually the power play, I'm not really concerned because, the power play has just been really freaking good during the regular season. But in this series, it looks like these players have never even played together on a man advantage, that is I think the striking thing to me, is that nobody knows what their responsibilities are. Nobody knows how to execute on it. And when you add all of that up together, it's really bad. It's unacceptable, to say the least. I think that's all I have for the second segment. In the third segment, we're going to talk about some missed opportunities for the Penguins tonight, and if who could potentially be back on Sunday against the Rangers. But before I get to that, our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all of your betting needs and sports info. You can find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. BetOnline's continued source for all of your sports wagering information, including live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. You can head to the website today or to use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. That is BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, I'm back here on this episode of the Locked On Penguins podcast. I am your host, Hunter Hodes. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Hunter Hodes. Follow the show's Twitter at LL_Penguins. And my friend Al always asks, are you doing anything right now? Yes, I am recording a episode where I wish I was basically chugging beers at this point and celebrating with you all. But, there was definitely a lot of missed opportunities from the Penguins tonight. John Marino, first period, last second, beautiful pass from Malkin, and Marino tries the pass over to Russ. I think if he just shoots it, he probably scores. I understand that play that Marino was making. I thought he had a great game again, too. I mean, he's playing outstanding hockey right now with Marcus Pettersson. I mean, it's like two different players. And Pettersson, speaking of him, he's been doing some curl and drags in this series. And I don't know if a spider bit him from Spider-Man or something like that, but he's been rock solid, to say the least, too. But, he had Russ right there. I think if Russ is looking at the puck and not at him, that's an easy goal right there to go 3-0 into the second period. And, who knows what happens with that. But I feel like Marino should have shot that one. And Mike Matheson, what a pass to Brian Rust, has the whole net, shoots wide. I'm like, man. I mean, great goal to make it 2-0 tonight, but Rust has definitely not been himself in this series. Only 2 goals in the 6 games. He's had, he's missed a whole bunch of quality looks. I think even in game 2, missed the net on a breakaway where I think he would have had Shesterkin beat. He's definitely had a rough go of things, to say the least. Evgeny Malkin, I thought he was fine tonight. Had a couple of weird plays with the puck, but I think he tried everything he could to really will this team to win. I mean, we saw vintage Gino on that third goal, taking the puck away, breakaway shot, beat Shesterkin clean. I was like, wow, take me back to 2012 with that kind of play from Malkin. I thought Chris Letang was good. Really no bad plays from him tonight. I thought Mike Sullivan coached a fine game. I mean, what really more do you want from him at this point? I did see this tweet floating around, and I'm going to touch on this here to close out the show. Well, if the Penguins choke away this series, it's going to be one of the worst chokes in Penguins in the Crosby era. And I'm like, is it though? Is it? I mean, think about it. You're down your 2 goalies for 6 of the 7 games. Sidney Crosby has a concussion. Ricard Raquel's out. Brian Dumoulin is out. And now Brian Boyle just got hurt. I mean, he's a 4th liner, but whatever. Is it really the biggest choke job of the Sidney Crosby era? I can name 3 off the top of my head. 2014 Rangers Penguins 3-1. The Penguins should have easily had that series. 2010 against the Canadiens. Fleury let those last 2 games away, and 2012 against the Flyers. I mean, those are 3 obvious ones right there. The Boston Bruins sweep from 2013 is also definitely a good one. They got swept by the Islanders in 2019. I mean, I know Jack Johnson was on that team, so I shouldn't really take that seriously. But, I know the Penguins have had a couple of big opportunities these last 2 games. And I know they've choked away a couple of leads. And, it's due to in part the Penguins are not playing good in second periods. And the goaltending has also not been good. But, in terms of the Crosby, Malkin era, I don't even know if this blown lead is one of their worst chokes at all. They've definitely had a lot more worse losses, to say the least. And I'm going to end here with this for you all. Sunday might be it for this core. And for as much as it pains me to say that, as someone, I know me personally, I have a lot of, I'm only 24 years old. I know I have people that listen to this show that are well older than me and have seen way more Penguins hockey than I have. And I totally get that. I wasn't around to watch the days back with Mario and Yager and Artie and Ulf Samuelsson and Paul Coffey and Tom Barrasso and Joe Mullen and Marty Straka and Darius Kasparaitis and all these guys. But, I want everyone on Sunday, no matter the result, to just have fun watching the game. This could be it for all 3 players on this team. I think at least one of them is going to be back next year, probably 2. But there's a chance, all 3 of them may not be, or one of the 3 may not be back. And I know people are going to be upset if they lose on Sunday. The vibes are not good right now. But I want everyone, even if they lose, I want everyone to just remember and be thankful that you all have gotten to watch 3 superstar franchise players for the last 16 years. I know I'm going to. That's for damn sure. And they win. I'm obviously going to be celebrating. If they lose, I'll be sad. But, people move on. Things change. That's what happens. I just want to end the show with that. There's a real chance that this could be it on Sunday for, the big 3 here in this city. But, that shouldn't take away from everything that they have accomplished the last 16 years. And who knows, maybe Rickard Rakell's ready to go. Maybe Sidney Crosby's ready to go from his concussion. Maybe Brian Dumoulin comes back. Maybe Tristan Jarry, hopefully Tristan Jarry does start. But what I know is win or lose, I'm going to be watching that game. I'm going to be cheering on the Penguins, and I'm going to enjoy every last second of the Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Crystal Tang era until it's over. Because, once it is over, you all are really going to be missing it. That's for sure. That's how I'm going to end tonight's show. So, again, thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I do not want off-season content on this show yet. Let's see what they can do. I'm starting Tristan Jarry no matter what on Sunday. It's do or die, win or take all. I know that everyone's emotions are going to be through the roof. Let's see if Tristan can have one hell of a performance if he's ready to go. It's going to be great. Well, potentially can be great. So thank you all so much for listening, and I will talk with you all. Actually, I have a special episode with John Check of Locked On New York Rangers on Saturday, so I have another episode then. And then the next one after that, it'll be a recap episode on Monday. We'll either be preparing for Boston or Carolina, or we'll be preparing off-season content for this show. So again, thank you all so much for listening. It's been an absolute blast to be doing this for another season, and I'll be back with another special one on Saturday, and then on Monday. I'll talk to you all then.